Hey, this is Arsenet from Rambling Rican with part, I think this is 7? All I know it's day 2 of Sasuke 32. So this is the continuation of that long video that I did before. Apologies in advance for the heater kicking on and off. It's freaking cold in the Northeast. So yeah, we're in December, so yeah, that kind of happens. So if you hear that clicking on and off in the background, that's my heater just cranking. Ain't gonna be cold. So either way, this is day 2 of Sasuke 32. This is continuation of that big video that I did from before. And so picking right up, actually, the last thing that I totally forgot, after we got back, it was actually around, I would say 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, which is, believe it or not, a lot earlier than we normally get home. So, or I should say back to the hotel, but you know what I mean, you know, so what ended up happening is because we were kind of expected to be there till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we kind of were still awake. My husband actually was resting because he had gotten there about an hour and a half earlier. And so we arrived and I ended up just going to bed, and the rest of my crew went out to get something to eat because, well, you know, they were kind of there all day. And so, yeah, it was actually pretty fun. So following morning, I actually had a good night's sleep because we didn't have to be there until technically 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so we're like, oh, all right. So taking advantage of the hotel free breakfast, I actually went down because I think they finished at like 11 o'clock. So we were like, I think by 8 already down there. And it was actually really cool because they have a lot of stuff out. I'm gonna be repping Toyoko in here, which is true. It's just like an open buffet type thing. And they had both sort of like a continental breakfast is what I'm used to, you know, like eggs, bread, that sort of thing. And they also had a Japanese breakfast. So they had like all kinds of different types and everything was all available. So I kind of picked and choose what I wanted. Pick and choose. English. So sorry, I'm apologizing. So yeah, so that was actually pretty cool. I didn't take any photos because that was busy and I didn't want to do that. So either way, it's actually pretty cool. We actually just kind of, you know, hung around at the hotel. Fairly quickly though, a couple of the guys had gone over to interview Nagano, which was set up, you know, that night. And so we were trying to take advantage because he was there for one extra day and he still had to compete because he hadn't run yet. So they went out. He was actually in Asakusa. Wrong side. Remember how I was telling you about that before? Yeah, the other side, near TBS. TBS took care of the All-Star, part of the All-Stars, the ones that come from out of town, and a few other people. So they went out there. I probably should have gone, but I was actually being good. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to go all the way over there. I'm going to see him in a couple hours, so just hang tight. So yeah, a few of my friends had gone over and done the interview for the documentary, which I keep getting questions about. It is still about, I think they said about halfway. And this is a side project for them, so it's taking a little bit longer. And of course, they're running their business, so it's still, you know, yeah, it's gonna be a while. So, but that happened from like 11 to like, oh god, I would say about almost 2 o'clock or so. I get a message halfway through the afternoon going, yeah, remember we said 5 o'clock? Screw it, show up at 3 because we want to be like out and going by 5 o'clock. And so yeah, which was fine because again, we were at the hotel just kind of killing time. And so it was actually cool because our friend Tada, Tatsuya Tada, which some of you people know from what I call Sasuke trial qualifiers, even though he actually wasn't. It's a long story. He had competed a couple times before when he was a kid. I am still hoping he gets to compete now as an adult because, oh my god, he's awesome. So anyway, he had come over and we were spending time with Perry because Perry was coming back and forth from the hospital, they had gotten some preliminary results, and yeah, he did break his ankle. I think it's like a couple of spots that were fractures, but they really couldn't tell because it was so freaking swollen. So he had to wait until he got back to the Netherlands to really get it checked up, and yeah, that was not good. We got reports. I mean, it took him like, I think, another month until he was able to walk again. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But he, just kind of wrapped his ankle, and he had the crutches, and he was just kind of out and about. We were a little sully on that. It's sort of like, no one likes to get injured, and then no one really likes to get injured on a problem with the course. So it was kind of we tried not to talk about it that much, let's just say that. We ranted and raved afterwards, raged, not raved. And sorry, my English sucks today, so I'm really sorry about me not being able to actually speak the language today. Anyway, keep moving on. So we ended up leaving a bit earlier. I think we got there around 3:30ish. We had plenty of time to kill. When we got there, we were like one of the first people, and they're like, "Where's everybody else?" I'm like, "I don't know, I just got here." Which was funny. And so what's cool is that because we all got the same notice, the people that were in Asakusa had gotten there at the same time that we did. So the unintended benefit of that was that I hung up the All-Stars. Now by that point, Bunpei and Akiyama were not there. Neither was Yamada. I'll leave that one alone. But he wasn't there. There were reasons he wasn't there. But which is fine. I'd rather him not be there if he wasn't in the mood to be there. Let's just say that. And before anybody starts freaking out, it wasn't because he didn't want to see Nagano. Trust me, they're very, very good friends. If there's any problems, it's not with those two, because I think Yamada worships the ground that he walks on. So yeah, Nagano and Yamada are perfectly fine. So we're all good with that. He had a really bad weekend, so yeah, he wasn't there. I think he actually checked out that morning. I know I saw him in the morning, sometime in the morning, or I would say afternoon. I don't know, he might have slept in. So, but anyway, yeah, so I had spent a lot of time with Asami and the kids and just kind of walk around because we were totally killing time. Everybody was just like getting all that stuff together. Now, it was actually hot and dry and summery. It's sort of like, oh, okay, where was this weather yesterday? Especially after last night, I expected it to be like all like misty and stuff. Nope, it was clear, it was dry. In fact, I got all of my sun at that time in the afternoon. It was like, maybe I should have brought sunscreen. So it was just really weird because it's like, okay, the only thing that I'm missing is winter, because I think we've already gotten all 4 seasons. So it was just really, really odd. So it was very, very bright, and so I took some videos, and as some of the Shinsei had come in, and so it was interesting because, again, like I had mentioned a few times before, I didn't really have like a negative vibe, other than it was very stressful that first day, basically 24 hours before that. But this one was a little bit different. There were far less people there, and most of the runs had already happened, and like most of the sheets that I had already run and failed, and so they were like totally cool. It was fine. And so the ones that still had to go were the ones that were still nervous, and so it was, they kind of like went off to the side, and it's fine. I was still reeling over in terms of like anything negative, like right off the bat, was I expected, I was like, damn it, Kong better be running today, I swear. So I was really upset. I'm like running around trying to find people, like is he running, and then he just like totally walks up. He's like, he's fine, everything's fine. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, this is Sasuke, I'm good. I'm fine, I'm okay. He's like, oh, it's really nice that you're actually upset for me. And I'm like, ah. So of course Darvish wasn't there, so I figured, well, I guess figured out who lost that argument. So it was just, they're like, it's okay, don't worry about it, let's just enjoy it, it's not gonna last run, the weather's gonna actually cooperate, let's just enjoy that. I'm like, okay. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna be sitting, wait a minute, where's Perry going? And so Perry, in fact, anybody that had a competitor pass had free reign to walk around. And again, the second day was a little bit different because they were still running the first stage, so it was still supposed to be busy, which I find interesting though, because they took out the second like half of it was dismantled. They got rid of the second grandstand, and so I'm like, but you told everybody to come back. But it was fine because not everybody came back. So the only ones that did, but they showed up later, were the lottery people for the second stage, or at least I think it was for the second stage. I would assume. Oh, that would have sucked if they were not for the second stage and the people that got there before got shafted. No, they shouldn't have. They had a pretty good crowd. So either way, so that's what happened, and so I had asked, because I still had my badge from the day before, and so they ended up, at least for, I don't know what they're going to do in the future, but for that particular tournament, the same badge that I had with my number from the day before was honored for the second day. And so this was unusual circumstances because they never run the first stage on there. So I was allowed to come back from yesterday, so I was very, very happy. And so I showed up and I said, and you can say no, but can I sit with Perry? And Perry kind of sat on the side, on the other side, with the rest of the Americans. And there were actually quite a few people on the other side, but definitely the Americans were there. And so there were a bunch of seats that were already put out, and he sat down and then used another chair to put his foot up because it has to be elevated, especially since it was so freaking swollen. So I thought it was cute because Shingo had come over and just to double check because it was obvious and he saw what happened, and he's like, is it broken? In fact, here's the short video. I don't know if you can hear it, so apologies if you can't really hear what is actually the conversation.
Big? Little.
Isn't that cute? He was so good. In fact, I didn't see Shingo that much because he's like a busy bee. He just shows up and then everybody wants him. And of course, what I think I failed to mention before, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. He and Variante, the company that he runs, were the health people. Like if you get an injury or you need a massage or something like that. Specifically, to try to maintain the athletes throughout the day because it's a really long day. So all of his people were there, and then so I guess probably from a health thing, now that I'm actually speaking this out, that actually it does make sense. But still, this is Shingo. He's normally like that, and he's always checking up on how everybody's doing and whatever. So then he sees him, with his foot like that, and it's wrapped, and he's looking at it like, "Are you okay? Should you be here? That sort of thing." But Perry's kind of stuck until his plane leaves in a couple of days. So and that's pretty much how that worked. And I was allowed to be with him and sort of like, if you're there, stay there, don't be running back and forth, which is fine, and that makes sense, especially because you're a lot more visible if you're moving around. I mean, now granted, the only time that you would see me would be with the overhead cameras, but that's, let's see, if we were like 93, 94, that's like 7-8 runs with the camera going back and forth. And so, they just wanted to make sure that it wasn't disruptive. It was fine. I'm very happy. So before I kind of locked myself in there, I walked around the parking lot for a while. And so some of the kids were so cute. And my friend Kathy had stayed with them a couple of times down in Miyazaki, where he lives. And so the kids recognize her and they spend a lot of time with her, and so that just is just, the rapport between is just so cute. So I recorded a few things, and then so that is when I noticed that Nagano and Takeda were I forget what it was that we were talking about, but I had looked over, and this would, I think I mentioned this before, I had not seen what the final looked like, and it, like, because it was, yes, it was cordoned off so you couldn't really get underneath it from before, but I wasn't behind it because that's where, you know, the cars would start parking in and whatever. All that area was clear that day, so you didn't have anywhere near the amount of traffic, and you know, I didn't really have any reason to be down there anyway because I was in the first stage. So all of a sudden I look up and I see the salmon ladder. I'm like, wait, what? And so I guess I was loud. And then so like I was like, Daijoubu? Vu? Like, are you okay? Like, and I pointed to it. Final stage, salmon ladder. And he's like, oh, honto? Meaning, really? And he's like, wait, what? And so they're looking at it. Takeda goes into the mad giggles like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. And then so we're sitting there looking at it like, okay, spider climb. Okay, how many? And we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I said 20. And then he's like, you don't count the first one. This is Nagano speaking. It says you don't count the first one, so it's 19 rungs. The first one you just grab onto, so don't really count it. It's a 20 if you do the whole thing, but you know, it's like 19. And then the rope, and I'm like, that's 25 meters high. He goes, oh, okay, that's a lot taller. And I'm like, oh, it's not 30 seconds. There's no way it can be 30 seconds. And then so that's when they're like, okay, hang on. So Takeda's like, F this, we're going. It was so funny. He didn't even look at security. He just like, F this, we're going. So he jumps over the barrier. I was not going to follow because I swear they would have probably said something and I just didn't want to press my luck. So I just recorded the two of them and you see them like, you know, like counting and whatever. So they end up coming back, and then so I said, can you do it? And then Nagano's like, muri. That's muri is impossible. Muri. And he goes, I'm so happy I'm retiring. And then Takeda turns around and he points his fingers to his face and like that total Kaki Takeda look, and it goes, I can do this. If it's like, I can do this. It doesn't matter. I can do this. And so Nagano's like pushing him like his arm over and like shoving him, I guess is the phrase. And here I am trying to do this visually and this is all audio. But it was just so cute. He goes, I can train for that. I can do that. Like I said, this one is like, you know, he hadn't run yet. So he's thinking he's got the shot. Oh, we already know what happened. He actually did pretty good considering. We actually didn't talk about that at the end. At that point, we had no idea that almost the rest of the group was going to be eliminated. It was just startling to know that it wasn't that many left. Because we were thinking, oh, we have a really nice number coming in. So I sat down and, you know, got ready. And so it was fine. See, again, this is the part that I've been procrastinating. Once I sat down, the mood changed. And it wasn't even because it was, you know, the All-Stars. No, it was... Okay, I'll wait till I get to Nagano's run. So we start off with Anastas, and of course, we started laughing because we had, you know, discussed in great detail how long Anastas was sitting at the start line ready to go. So now of course it's a lot warmer, so he's not freezing while walking around in a loincloth. And so we're sitting there talking and whatever, and I noticed that every single time we tried, like, they would, like, I don't know how to explain it, we weren't really allowed that much to be around him because now he's a star according to TBS, and so whatever relationships that were made are sort of like, okay, no. It just, it started to bother me, because remember how I'd mentioned that in the first stage we had those issues where if you were a star, you were treated fantastic, and if you weren't, you were not. And so I chalked up the first day as it was extremely stressful. We were 5 to 6 hours behind schedule. It was, they weren't sure if it was going to rain. Obstacles were breaking and all this extra stuff. So I figured that was, no, that transferred to the second day. And I'm like, there's something going on here. And so I just watched. If anything, I had a bird's eye view on the tone, on how everything was being done. So, run through all the different competitors, and again, this is not about who did what or anything like that. It was still cool that, this time there was more people on my side. So whenever each person ran, they would, bow to the crowd and then bow to us, which is actually really funny. And so tried to enjoy that. And then so we got through, Shingo's run, Takara's run. In fact, I forget in what order. No, it was Shingo first and then Takara. No, the other way around. I think it was the other way around. Takara, Shingo. Yeah, because Shingo was 99. See, it just, I can't even remember, because even on the day, it I don't know how to explain. I guess we weren't expecting much from Shingo. And then Takara at least was, yes, he was upset that he didn't go further, but they were relieved that they didn't fail the first obstacle again. And so it was like, oh, let's not derp. All of a sudden the murmur started, and that was pretty instant. It was Nagano's last run, and Nagano was nervous, excited, scared, relieved, all at the same time. And we'd look over to each other, thumbs up, got this, whatever, because we had spent time, and by that point he had already had 3-4 hours worth of interview on what his real feelings are. He feels relieved it's over, and he had not been happy the last few years, and he was pushed to come back. He did in fact, he was ready to retire in 28, and then he failed miserably, and his wife's like, okay, you can't feel like that, come on. And then so he came back again, and then at one point he actually passed the first stage, and then he got disqualified in the absolute BS in the salmon ladder, and then so it was like, okay, you can still do this, we'll come back. And he's like, oh, God, I don't want to do this again. So finally last year he's like, okay, I'm done. And they're like, no, we have to say goodbye. And so finally he's like, okay, can I please go? So, and of course he wanted to do well, he trained for this, and so he's getting ready, and all I could see are, I can't even say all of them, but I had a lot of problems with some of the Shinserai, and I'm sure you can figure out specifically who bothered the hell out of me. Started right up when he was about to run, and it was like they're all positioning themselves to be there where the camera was there. Now, there are some that are okay, yes, I want to see their run, and they've been consistent. They're, big Nagano fans and whatever. Like Yuji's a huge Nagano fan. And so I can understand that, and I'm fine with it. But there were others that it was there for the cameras, and it was really bothering me. So at this point, Nagano fails. You have the cameras and whatever, and then there's this walk back, and most of the time that really isn't recorded. In fact, it wasn't in the original broadcast. And so it was, oh God, how do I even describe this? Okay, I'm gonna just say it the way I do, because I've talked at length with all of my friends who were there, and we saw this. It was like watching a funeral, and people were fighting to be in the front row. In fact, the bigger example, and this happened where I knew this person. This is a separate event. It was like I knew this person. The person had not died yet, and everyone was fighting for the person's possessions. And that's what it looked like. It was all me. It had nothing to do with Nagano. And quite frankly, that pissed me off. I was so angry. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, so when people were like, oh, did you cry and whatever? First, no, I didn't cry. I didn't cry because I knew he was happy it was over with. And like I mentioned before, I was happy he had felt that yes, he could still do this. I wanted that so desperately for him. I wanted him to feel, yes, he can still do this, because he had spent the entire time for years now. I can't do this. I'm getting old. It's just like, come on, just let me retire and whatever. I'm never going to pass the first stage again. And he knew he can do it. In fact, that part we did discuss. It's like, he knew he took a while in the wall. His thing was like, okay, I want to be able to pass the wall, and that's victorious. And then realize, oh crap, I still have time. Oh crap, I might actually clear this. So now playing in his mind, had he not taken that time to run up the wall the second time, he would have cleared it. And that will forever be playing in his mind going, they were right. And he had even said that to me, he was like looking at me and waving, going, okay, yeah, we know. Okay, it's okay. It's over, okay, we're good. And I'm sitting there laughing, going, I told you. See? And he goes, all right. But he's like, I'm still not coming out. We're done. Okay, we're done. Everybody say goodbye. We're good. Now, what's funny is that he had said that he would like to come back, but to like cheer people, because he didn't want that pressure of like, okay, now he can retire in peace, so he doesn't have to, kill himself to be in competition shape. He wanted to retire when people still have respect for him. And I'm thinking, I don't know what world you're living in. People will respect you until the day you die, boy. But that's how Nagano feels. He feels like, some backwater hick from a town no one's ever heard of that somehow got famous on a TV show, did well, cleared, and then faded into obscurity. The problem is he doesn't understand he would never fade from obscurity, at least for the long-time Sasuke fans. Now, my education that day was that there were people that had no idea who he was, even though there was a banner. So he was still right on that. But for the people that have been following him for that long, he will always be champion. And that's the part that he just kind of turns purple and goes, mm. So I had that feeling in my mind. And then as he's walking back and I see the nonsense that's going up in the front, my mood soured. And luckily there was this huge break between, I would say it was supposed to be quick, and when you compare it to last year, because last year was almost an hour between like first and second stage, because you had all those people to switch out the lottery, and then you had the second stage people coming through. Everybody's like, okay, we're moving this. In fact, it was so funny because as Nagano's thing was done, they did the whole speech thing, and you've seen that video many times. As he was done and he's walking away, the crew immediately started dismantling stuff. I'm not kidding. In fact, I'm not going to do the second stage on this video, but I am totally not kidding. By the time the second stage was done, the Sasuke sign was down. It was that fast. You had a crew was like, okay, we're taking this crap down. Because remember, this was supposed to be second day. When people arrive on the second day, most of that stuff is already down. But they had to keep it up because we hadn't finished the first stage. So it was like, oh oh crap, so we're like, oh, we're like trying to get out of the way and whatever, and then so Nagano's like, you know, walking, and of course there's like this crowd of people getting around him, and so I didn't even see the point where they had given him the little button, and I thought that was actually really cute. Like they actually gave him the button because you got within inches of it. So I was trying. Again, my mood was a little sour, and then Nagano just like, it's okay, we're good. And then I'm like, oh crap, I hadn't, because I think I told you before that the day before I had forgotten the mug that Venus had bought. And so I'm like, oh god, I need to get this signed, because he was leaving, his car was packed. They were getting all their stuff taken care of. And so I don't know if I should feel happy, sad, or just like, because they knew. I don't know, but well, Shingo lives in Tokyo, so it doesn't matter when he arrives or leaves or whatever, because he can get there fairly quickly. Takeda is from out of town, so he had to leave, and of course Nagano as well. And so once that was over, there was some time where you had people, you know, taking pictures and videos. In fact, that was actually when I was able to talk to Yuji for a little bit, which I really didn't have a chance before. And I still like Yuji. Yuji's sort of like in the middle, and I've mentioned this a few times. Is like he's like in the middle of in the eras, and not just even in age, because he's actually not that much younger than I am, but he's still considered the second generation, and so it's that weird thing. And so he was actually really cool. In fact, he had asked, you know, there's like, you know, there's stuff that I needed to sign, and I'm like, thank you. So brought the stuff over, and Takeda did the same thing. Nagano got him in the car to get those, because I almost forgot again. But he knew he didn't leave before that happened, because I had asked him before, you know, there's one thing you need to sign, I forgot to bring it yesterday. And then so he's like, do it after my run. I was like, okay. So then after my run, I just kind of looked at him and gave him like the eyebrow, and he goes, okay, here we go. And so it was starting to get dark, so I still apologize that, you know, to Griffin, that, you know, the video is really dark, and but you'll at least get to see when he signed it. So, but I think there was a break between, I think about 45 minutes, I think half hour, 45, well, let's just say all that stuff was still, in fact, they had set up all the people, like they took out, I don't even know if there were many lottery people from the first stage. I know the second stage people were moved over and whatever, while we were taking videos and stuff like that. So all of a sudden we realized, you know, they're all leaving, you know, we're waving goodbye to Nagano, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, they're about to take the second stage. We're like hauling butt, because we're seeing, you know, the construction at this point. Everybody's getting into cars, you know, Takeda's leaving, Nagano's leaving, everybody's waving goodbye, taking the last minute photos, and then, oh crap, there's still, what, I don't even know how many people, 8 people? I think 8 people cleared, or like, oh, we need to go to the second stage. So I'll stop the video here. Again, I yammered on for quite a bit. But that was the general sense from like when I arrived that morning to when the second stage started. So next video hopefully will be up a little bit faster. It's a little difficult during the holidays, you know, just for many reasons, but I'll try to get this out as fast as possible. Especially now that, you know, Sasuke 33 is about to tape, you know, well, not about to, but considering the applications are going to close in about a week and a half. So, well, actually a week and a half for A&W, and then 2 weeks for Sasuke. But then after that, it's like, it's quick. So, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy this, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for all the really good well wishes. Feel free to like share and like and all this extra YouTube-y stuff. I'm told that I need to do that more, because as more people see it, you know, they actually get to enjoy this kind of stuff. So either way, until the next video, thank you for listening. Take care.